We're starting the stream, folks. Starting the stream. Let's see what happens. Let me bring this up and see what happens. No? Well, wait a minute. There we go. We're up, folks. We're up and running. We've got some video. Good, good. That's nice. All right. Okay. So let me see. The lines are open, so we can talk to you on Skype. So, and by the way, if you want to see the whole show, including the Will Durst interview, you'll be able to see that on YouTube after the show and on Facebook after the show and Vimeo and all the other places that we usually post the video. So, and it was a good interview with Will Durst, by the way, and maybe you'd like to see him. And if you'd like to see him, that is possible. Okay. But we are now up again video-wise, and well, it looks like this is not working that well. Hold on, let me see what's working and what isn't working. There we go. It looks like we're okay most of the places. Oh, let me also. I've got to go over to our. Here we go. YouTube. Okay, I've got to do something here for a moment, folks. I actually put something up on YouTube. Hold on a second. Uploading. There we go. Okay, hold on. I'll get to you in a second. Who's calling? Okay, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Here comes. There's. Let me. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. Okay. We had some people calling. What I had to do is I had to change the sign on my on Gabnet that said YouTube is down, and we didn't want that to be up there anymore. Okay. Let's say hello to our two of our citizens panel. First of all, there's Scott Boddicker. Hello, Scott.
Hello, Alex.
How are you? And you know, thank God I can. I have a backup in that I can record the show when it's.
Yeah, I was shocked. I went to it. I was going to watch the Durst thing, and it was what? Nothing was working. Yeah, when I clicked on the YouTube button.
They were down worldwide.
Wow.
So who knows? It could have been a hack. You know, could have been somebody.
In Jersey.
It could have been the Russians. Could have been the Russians.
Gabnet broke it. Or it was the Democratic mobs, but my condolences on your friend. I'm sure you're probably aware by now, right?
No, what?
Dennis Hoff died.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Last night, I think.
I didn't hear about it.
Oh, yeah. It seems as though there was a
shut up. Of course I heard about it. Did you think that by now I hadn't gotten 84? I got a thing from Albert, for crying out loud, a message from Albert saying sorry about your friend.
All right, so I gave you my condolences, and you had to fuck with me. Huh?
Yeah, of course.
All right, you know you're even gracious in death.
This is fuck Republican Day, you know.
Yeah.
Fuck with the Republic.
He was the Trump of Nevada.
Yeah, he was the Trump of, yeah, pimp all the way. Well, he was running for a political office as a Republican because he used to be an independent, and he tried running under that, and he couldn't win, so now he was trying as a Republican.
He's probably going to win, and if he does, because his name's on the ballot, they'll appoint another Republican in his place.
No, they won't.
Well, that's what I read today.
What I read is what they do is if the person dies, they hold another election out there. So
well, what I read was different.
Yeah, well, but, you know, I doubt if he's going to win because people don't feel too confident voting for a dead person.
Well, maybe better dead than blue.
They probably didn't feel that. Now, here's the thing. I mean, like I haven't talked to Dennis in a while.
I don't think you'll be talking to him anymore.
No, I don't think so. I wish I had called him to say goodbye.
Or wish him a happy birthday.
Yeah. Well, I was invited to his birthday party. I always am every year. And,
do you know who was there?
Huh?
You know who was there?
Well, I know some of the people that were there, yeah.
Well, your Jeremy buddy was there, but also Sheriff Joe Arpaio.
Mm-hmm. That's why I didn't go.
Yeah, I'll bet.
No, that's why I didn't go.
I thought you wanted one of those pink jumpsuits.
Yeah, right. Fucking asshole, fucking Arpaio.
I hope he wins in Arizona. He's running for political office.
You're just saying that to be ornery. You can't possibly, as an intelligent person, find anything worthwhile in Joe Arpaio.
Well, I don't think he's a pile, but
no. He is as a Jew, you shouldn't like fascists, okay?
Well, I don't think he's a fascist. The guy was enforcing the law. You break the law, you wear pink.
That's really good. He believed in chain gangs if he could have done them.
It's not bad.
Oh, not bad, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know the movie that first awoke my political consciousness was a film of Paul Muni called "I Was a Prisoner from a Chain Gang," a fugitive from a chain gang, and it was a true story. Although in those days they didn't say "taken from a true story," about a
Netflix original,
a guy who escaped from a chain gang and spent years avoiding the chain gang, and he was. Oh, let me get rid of this here. I don't like being that huge. Then they caught him, and he had been such a good citizen, and they threw him back in prison again. And it was a terrible story, and it kind of raised my consciousness about this sort of thing. So, what have you?
Took you from being unconscious.
Yeah, well, like you. Hello, Jeff. How are you?
Good evening. How's everybody?
Fine. Outside of the fact that not Skype, but YouTube was out all over the world, not just here, all over the world. So, But so no, what?
Do you think that they were experimenting, or you really think there was a hack, huh?
Oh, I think it's probably a hack, yeah. Either that or some really stupid people over at Google, and I don't give them credit for being that stupid. They're not Republicans.
Maybe they are.
Hello, Rob. You're in the dark again. We can hardly see you because the light in back of you is.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah, probably. What was I going to say? Yeah. I don't know. I'm really tired. This new pill I'm taking is making me tired. And I've gone down to one pill instead of the 3 he told me to take because it does help the feet, and yet I don't get that drowsy. I'm that drowsy tonight. So I'm drinking coffee, which means I'm definitely going to have to take that pill to put me to sleep. So anyway, I always kind of liked Dennis. Because when I was out of work a long time ago, this was back in the late 90s, he was the one guy who kept calling me and seeing how I was doing and if I was okay. And to me, while that's saying, okay, well, he was good to me, so therefore he's an okay guy, I thought that was a nice thing of him to do, because what I found was the minute I no longer had a radio program, it's like I didn't exist. And to him, I still existed. He didn't need me for anything. I couldn't do anything for him at the time, and yet he still would call and make sure I was okay. And when he was coming to San Francisco, he would always take me out to dinner, and we had a very nice relationship.
That's called a friend.
He was a friend. Yeah, he was a friend. In the later years, he got really welled up in his celebrity, and we kind of lost touch with each other, But, last time I talked to him, I think we did it here on this program. So
I remember.
Yeah. In fact, maybe I think I did a Skype on that one. So I should probably go look to see if I can find it. And maybe we'll rerun it. But, Dennis was okay. But it was kind of surprising what supposedly happened. He was not at the Moonlight Bunny Ranch. He was at one of his other places. I'm trying to remember the name.
Something.
The Love Ranch.
Right.
where incidentally, Lamar Odom had his overdose at that.
He died.
Yeah.
Right?
No, he didn't die.
No, he didn't die 3 days later.
No.
Oh.
He lived through it. So Lamar didn't die, but I guess he did. And what happened was they had a party the night before, some kind of, they had a rally, and it was kind of a successful one, they felt, and they were all kind of partying and stuff. And then he went to bed. Now, let me say this about Dennis. I never knew him to be much of a drug user on any level. I've spent social times with him. It wasn't like he brought out a vial of Coke and said, "Here, have some," or "Do you want some of the pot I have," or whatever. Really, he was not a drug guy. So I don't think there were any drugs involved in this. I would be very surprised.
It was a hot Latin girl from 11 to 6 in the morning.
He went to sleep, and the next morning, Ron Jeremy came to wake him up, and he didn't. Two horrible things. Number one, dying in a whorehouse, but then again, you ran them, so I guess that's okay. But the worst part is having Ron Jeremy finding your rotting corpse. That to me, which is amazing because he came very close to being a rotting corpse himself a few years ago.
I remember the picture you posted of him in the hospital.
Yeah. Another guy I happen to like. I like Ron, but he found him dead. So apparently he died in his sleep. And the things I did know about him was he had health issues. He was diabetic. That was for starters. And he had a few other medical problems. Any one of which could have exacerbated whatever happened. So it's very surprising, obviously, because it's not like he went to bed the night before and everybody said he's not going to make it through the night. It was like everybody thought he was fine, and the next morning he's dead.
I think more people have that widowmaker blockage than you think. And, these guys that are, who just died at 65, Paul, that was cancer, the guy from Microsoft.
You're talking about Paul Allen.
Paul Allen. But that was cancer. But a lot of people, all of a sudden, they're 59, 60, and they just drop dead. And I have a feeling that it's, that one artery that they say that if you have a heart attack and it's caused by that artery, it's fatal.
He always did have a weight problem. He was heavy. And he was diabetic. And all these things can lead to something like that. I don't know if it was a widow maker, but he could have had any one of a number of other complications that could take place. He could have had a stroke, could have been any number of things. Yeah. But in any event, he's dead, and another one of my friends is dead, And I just realized that it's probably because I've lived to be 78 so far that I have to expect that I'm going to see people dead a lot. By the way, Scott Boddicker, everybody will know his name by the end of the show because his name won't go away.
I don't see it on the Skype. Only when I
if you looked at the video, though, you would see it. So don't forget his name, folks. We're going to ask questions later.
And you spell it backwards.
What's it doing? Yes.
REKCIDDOB.
You're cheating.
Well, I mean, it's sitting there in front of me.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. No, it's nothing. It's nothing you're doing, Scott. Don't worry about it. It's weird. It's something here. I don't know what it is, but
YouTube. No, it's Skype.
I can bring up other people's names, and then they go away when I don't hover over them any longer. So
No, on the Skype.
Oh, I got rid of it. I got rid of it. Yeah. Ah, there we go. Okay.
You're paranoid.
Anyway, so and then of course I got the news about Ronnie last week, my ex-wife, and tomorrow night she'll be on with me, and we recorded it today, and she talks all about it. She's handling it better than I am, but it's she was given the word that she has inoperable cancer, and that she can have chemotherapy for the next 8 months, and it may keep the complications from occurring and the cancer from progressing. But then it will start progressing anyway, and she has about 2 years to live at the outset.
Had she mentioned to you whether she was going to change anything about the way she does business, basically? Is she going to travel? Is she going to do anything different?
She's just going to live her life like she's been living it all along. It's funny, when you get that determination, it's a little too late to go traveling, because you've got to go get chemo every 2 weeks. And
if you elect to do that.
And when the chemo's over with, you're going to be too sick to travel. So, I mean, to expect that she's going to say, "Oh, I think I'll go to Bali or someplace like that," Yeah.
Well, my mother's third husband had cancer, and he started with the chemo, and he said, the quality of life that I'm having with this chemo, I would rather, if I'm going to live 2 years with chemo or 1 year without it, he says, I'd rather live without it.
Well, she tolerated it very well before, and they're going to do it only once every 2 weeks, and it's going to be much lighter than chemo normally is, because they're not doing it to save her life, they're doing it to prolong it.
I see.
But you'll hear the interview tomorrow. It's very good. She has the thing is, she has spent the last how many years, or like 15 years, writing about what it's like to get old, and now she's writing about what it's like to die, which is part of what it's like to get old. It's part of that process
cycle.
Yeah, and I think when she's through, her body of work is going to be very important, to people to read and to look at. And I tell everybody, go over to timegoesby.net. It's a very good blog. It's an excellent blog. So,
all right,
there you go.
So, anything else? How about that DNA test? Elizabeth Warren.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think
you were like a deer in the headlights. I figured I'd give you a hand.
No. I just, I think it was stupid of her to do it. Because then she got the Cherokee Nation down on her ass.
Yeah. Is somebody that's 1,024th?
No, that's according to Trump. You're looking at Trump's tweet. It's not 1,024th.
Well, or 10th generation.
It was also a 6th generation, something like that.
6 to 10.
The interesting thing is that they didn't use, to compare the markers, any DNA from actual Native Americans. They used them from South Americans. Now, maybe some South Americans have some of this Indian in them.
What do you think Indians were? And by the way, they aren't called Indians, Phil. And our president called them Indians today.
I thought they came from the
Native American,
the Arctic, or
Native
from Russia.
What?
Siberia, Russia. They came over the Bering Strait.
Well, so did the Mexicans. I mean, have you ever looked at the history of the world and how the civilizations came to be and where they traveled from? There was nobody. There was nobody on this continent, and they came over the Bering Straits. And some of them went down into Arizona and New Mexico, and then some of them went further down into Mexico and populated that area.
Yeah, and you don't think that it all started in Africa, and then as the continents moved apart?
It all started in Africa.
Right, and as the continents moved apart, those elements that were living on those continents.
Phil, they were already moved apart.
Vastly.
Boy, you know nothing.
Oh, thank you.
Really?
Then they rode the dinosaurs to America.
Yeah, they rode the dinosaurs to America. Yeah.
The swimming dinosaurs.
Yeah.
That's why I like sharks.
The big one with the wings, and he could fly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm flying.
I guess it was another climate change.
Yeah. But anyway, it all started, of course, it all started in Africa.
Yeah. And so, they moved around. But how did they they didn't sail from Africa to South America or to the Americas in
I'll show you
general.
how little he knows about civilization. What were the Neanderthals?
People like Alex Bennett.
No.
The Neanderthals were Homo sapiens. Early Homo sapiens.
No, they weren't.
I don't think so.
No.
So were they simians?
No, they were Neanderthals.
All right.
And
didn't they just find
a
Neanderthal bone?
They found lots of Neanderthal bones. Yeah, in the White House. In the White House. They had to wrestle it from the dog.
Really? Yeah.
That was funny. They said they found this Neanderthal child,
Yeah.
and they said it appears he was eaten by a large bird. How the hell would they know that?
I don't know.
Bird
marks?
Bird poop around him or something? I don't know.
Beak marks.
Beak marks. Yeah.
Beak marks?
Yeah, beak marks.
Could have been a saber-toothed tiger.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Of course, it was a skeleton. How do you find beak marks? But anyway, the point, no, Neanderthals, you don't know anything. I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
Neanderthals were a race of people who lived side by side with the Homo sapiens. And the Homo sapiens, they died because the Homo sapiens pushed them to the sea, because they did not have a social structure, and because they didn't have a social structure, they had no way to protect themselves.
They couldn't go to the movies.
They couldn't go to the movies, right? Well, you can't.
They would use their cell phones at the movies. That is another reason to push them into the sea.
Yeah, but it's very interesting, because I used to think that Neanderthals were like cavemen, and then the Homo sapiens came along. But no, the Homo sapiens lived side by side. In fact, were the reason for they literally chased them to the sea, where they perished.
Yeah, kind of like Republicans.
Yeah, I agree. You said it, I didn't. Yeah.
Well, they chased the Dems to the sea. Well, we'll see this blue wave.
Well, I don't know if there's going to be a blue wave or not. I certainly hope so, but I don't know if there's going to be.
Nah, I don't think so.
I
don't even think they're going to lose the House.
No, I think the Republicans will lose the House, but they're not going to lose the Senate. That's about how it's going to be. Although there are a few races, like yours in Texas, Scott.
Oh,
Scott.
Beto.
Give me time. I'll come up with your name, okay? It was up on the screen.
It was on the
Put
screen,
it back on the screen, yeah.
Scott, the Tom Cruise, the Ted Cruz, Beto, is it called? Is that how you pronounce his name?
I think his real name's like Roberto, but he goes by Beto.
Beto, yeah.
Beto.
Beto, and what's his last
He's
name?
using an assumed name.
Beto O'Rourke. Looks like.
I think he's Hispanic, but he's got this Irish name. I don't know. It's weird.
How's the race going right now?
Cruz should win, but Beto is so much smarter than that asshole.
He's also got $30 million more than Ted Cruz has.
Yeah.
For his campaign.
Yeah, but he's a socialist. I listened to his debate.
Fuck you with he's a socialist. It doesn't matter. You talk about socialists like
it's
bad.
Because that's exactly what people think, exactly the way Phil thinks. So that it does matter, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, he was involved in a socialistic project, which was called being in the police department.
Yeah,
that is a standard.
It's a
socialist organization.
No, the fire department is socialistic, and so is the police department. It's where
the police officers, other than myself, they were paid professionals. And where's socialism?
Paid by who?
Socialism
paid
because
by the city or the county.
It's because they were paid by
they're performing a service.
Yeah, providing a service, much like Medicare, much like a lot of other things.
Yeah, but if you have,
the only
Medicare
difference
is
between
fine. You
Medicare,
paid into
the only
Medicare.
difference between Medicare and the police is the police kill people.
Yeah. Well, then you can use your Medicare to pull out the bullet. But
Yeah.
this Beto wants Medicare for all, and what that's going to do it's going to bankrupt it, and
How come
will not get your services.
How come England isn't bankrupt? How come
Yeah,
France
how come
isn't
they have
bankrupt?
6-month
How come
waits?
Sweden isn't bankrupt? That's bullshit, Phil. I know
No,
people.
I heard it tonight on the debate.
I know people.
And your Beto O'Rourke,
yeah,
your socialist, didn't deny it.
That's great, but I have a friend from the UK, and he tells me that's all bullshit. There's no 6-month wait.
Is he sick?
No, he's not sick.
No,
That's why he doesn't have to wait.
there's no 6-month wait. Yes, if
he doesn't have any reason to need anything, then he hasn't experienced firsthand what other people have had to do.
So
you haven't, Phil. You don't live in
there.
England. You haven't experienced it at all. How dare you sit there and say that it exists this way?
Look,
Because you watched some debate and some stupid Republican said it.
Of course,
didn't get denied by the Democrat.
I'll deny it. I know people from England who say that it's the best. It's wonderful. I know people in Canada who say that this assumption that somehow you have to wait 6 months to get something done under
Medicare. 2 years.
Look at all the stuff that Browning used to go through.
Yeah.
From Canada. Look at all the stuff Jim Browning went through. He didn't wait 6 months or a year.
I seem to remember that he was waiting for a medication. He was waiting for other things. I didn't listen too much to him.
No, I never heard that. He was very happy with the system.
Absolutely.
Well, I've talked to other Canadians that say they're happy with that system, but I don't believe that the American government can create and
well, then what you're saying is the American
kind of
government sucks and is stupid.
That's what you're saying, basically.
Yeah, as long as the Democrats are in there handing out the pork.
Oh, yeah. Who raised the debt this time around?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, you mean it got to 20 trillion because of Trump? No, it went from 15 to I believe 19 under Obama.
He was spending money because of what Bush did to this country to try to bring the country back. Supposedly, this Trump guy has the best economy. Everybody's working, and how is it that when that happens, that the deficit gets worse?
Because he had to fund the military, which was underfunded by Obama.
Well, why don't you try another thing, Phil? He gave this tax deal that just really sucks and is going to cost this country a fortune.
Yeah, and there's going to be one more tax cut coming up, and hopefully the Republican Congress as well as the Senate will get that pushed through. That's what we need is less taxes.
Yeah.
And
okay.
And then as
Phil,
the economy
then you'll get less roads and you'll get less schools and you'll get less of everything.
Not necessarily. If you have a better economy, what'll end up happening is there'll be more revenue.
How much better of an economy? According to Trump, this is the best economy the United States has ever had.
And well, it is a good economy right now, much better than it had been through that lackluster recovery that we had under Obama.
What are the markers? What are the markers of
deficit?
Yeah,
the deficit was there. We've already borrowed.
Added to it.
Well, so sometimes you got to invest, but the deficit will.
Wait a minute, you've got to invest. Is that your idea
funny,
of how
though?
we
didn't have to invest right before George Bush almost put the for sale sign on this country. We didn't have to do any investing then, did we? Everybody complains about the deficit.
This country has been being sold out to the Chinese for between Clinton,
Bush one, Bush two, and
Obama.
Bullshit.
Even Bush wanted to.
Something? Why don't you just go online, go get a Trump playbook, and just read it to us? Because that's what you're doing right now.
Well, hey, look, you know,
he
got
lives in a world. He lives in a world that was invented by Goebbels that said if you say a lie enough, people will believe it.
Maybe his playbook is more accurate and it is the truth. And if you don't like hearing the truth, that's too bad. You know,
I love hearing the truth, but I'm not going to hear it from a bold-faced fucking liar.
Yeah, you're not going to hear it from him. There's no truth in anything he says.
All right, Stormy Daniels.
Yes, Horseface.
Yeah, Horseface.
Now, you know, she's going to have to pay.
No, she's not.
Yeah, they found that she's responsible for Trump's attorney's fees.
She'll never pay.
Why not?
Because she'll just never pay. Oh. Don't worry.
She'll just do a lap dance for him.
Yeah, really.
Avenatti will keep from paying him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Avenatti might have to pay.
No.
You know?
No.
No. Well, anyway.
You believe all these lies you're fed, Phil. So I can't even change your mind on any of them.
You think that the truth is a lie because it doesn't agree with your vision of this utopian world that you want to be in. You know? It'd be different if you were open to some of the things that are going on around you.
I don't want a utopian
you're listening
world.
to MSNBC.
Phil, I don't want a utopian world. I want a world in which this government, which I would like to think is the greatest government in the world, acts like it and takes care of its people.
So why did Obama go around apologizing for it?
I think membership should have its privileges, and it doesn't.
Well, I don't agree that we need to go around apologizing. It's time that we stood and for our own benefits. You know, we've been giving away our natural resources. We've been giving away our jobs. We've been giving away. You know, we're funding.
And Trump and speaking of giving away natural resources, Trump has been giving away our natural resources by what he's doing to the National Park Service.
You know. Opening up.
You didn't answer that one, Phil. You didn't answer that one, Phil.
Well, a lot of this Park Service stuff was a little onerous, but what I wanted to say.
How was it onerous, Phil?
A little onerous.
Well, because you know, if you don't cut trees, eventually what happens is you end up with a fire. You have to harvest this stuff.
Don't you understand that fires are a natural part of a forest's life?
Yeah, but if you harvest that lumber instead of it going to waste,
you don't harvest it because then you cause a bigger problem because fires then become more pervasive as a result, and you also don't have the lumber in the ground to keep it from getting flooded and so on. Phil, you know nothing about this, so don't even start. You're not an ecologist. You have no idea what it's all about.
How do you know where I stand on ecology? You know, I believe that there are certain things, whether it's shooting deer.
What's wrong with these national parks? What is wrong?
There's nothing wrong with national parks.
Well, then why is he trying to cut them down to make them smaller and so on? Why? Why is he?
I don't know.
Why is he allowing people to kill baby wolves now? Did you hear he just signed that one?
No, I didn't hear anything about that.
Yes, he did.
But he must have a reason for reducing the amount of national parks. I don't know what their reason is.
Well, then why don't you go find out? Because I'm sure you'll find out. It's a wonderful answer, Phil. You'll love his answer.
Well, the Guatemalans, for instance, they're coming up in droves in caravans.
Where did that come from? We're talking about forests, and you're going to Guatemalans coming up.
Yeah, well, what Trump has done.
Yeah, the Guatemalans are coming up, and they're inhabiting all that land that's our national forest.
I've never even met a Guatemalan.
That's right.
Yeah.
So anyway, what
here
Trump
today,
has
Guatemalan.
Said, hey, if they keep coming up, we'll just cut off the aid. The monies that we send to, I believe it's Guatemala, and I think it's $1.5 billion. Because he wants border security.
All of a sudden, he picks these things out of his fucking ass. Because we're on one subject, you're like Trump. We're on one subject, and you're bringing up another one.
I told you, I don't know why.
You're only about two subjects. You're only about two subjects every 10 minutes short of Kanye West.
Okay, I told you I don't know why he wants to shut down the parks or reduce the national parks.
Well, it's to keep the Guatemalans from coming up here.
Okay, yeah. So why do you think? What's his reason? That you've heard that he wants to shut down these parks?
I don't know, because he's an asshole. Because he's an asshole. Because he wants.
But you support him. We don't.
He wants people to be able to drill for oil and use the wood and not have to save these wildlife refuges.
Strip the planet of any resources. You talk about saving resources.
Doesn't he want a reasonable amount of commerce in these places?
I'll tell you what he has become good at. What he has become very, very good at is an apologist for the Saudi family.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Well, you know, I mean, if the guy was writing nasty shit about me, I think they did him a favor.
Damn it. God damn it.
Hey,
fuck you.
You know, we don't need to be telling other countries how to run their thing. You know, our country, we don't go in and kill the journalists, although maybe we should. But, you know,
this guy...
Wait a minute. Hey, Jeff's saying something. He hasn't said anything all night. Let's hear from him.
Wasn't this guy, he worked in the United States?
Yes.
He was a contributor to the Washington Post.
No,
so it was okay if he got killed?
No.
Because another country did it.
Well, you know, all I know is that, you know, when Trump doesn't want to get us involved in a war, you guys think that that's terrible. But when Bush got us involved in Syria, and Trump didn't want that, you guys thought that was terrible. So here we have a president that doesn't want to involve us in these world conflicts because he feels that it's not any of our business. And as heinous as this was, to take this guy and chop him up and ruin his wedding. You know, it's a terrible thing, but you know, it's none of our business.
Wait a minute, I love that juxtaposition you put in there about chopping him up and then making him miss his wedding. You know,
well, he didn't get his permit to marry, I don't think.
Yeah, well, you know,
but you know, it's a terrible thing. But people are being killed all over the world.
Oh, no.
Where is the outrage?
Don't go whataboutism. Don't go off on another tangent.
Why not?
Just because something else is wrong doesn't make this any less wrong.
But there's no outrage.
Don't minimize it by trying to compare it to something else.
I don't go for that argument.
Well, of course you don't. Of course you don't, because you'd lose in your mind, you'd lose every argument we throw at you.
Well, no, it's very simple. You know, if you look around at the kinds of things that are going on in other parts of the world, terrible stuff. Why should we cut off our nose to spite our face? Why shouldn't we sell the arms to the Saudis? Because if we don't, the French will, or the Russians will.
Because Phil, we should have a certain. We should feel that we have a moral obligation to do what's right, even if it is. Wait a minute, even if it is at our own expense, because we stand up for what is morally correct.
No.
No,
stand up for what's morally correct, then you'd stand up for the Israelis.
Oh, jeez. He always shifts it. He's like Kanye West. He changes the subject every 2 seconds.
Oh, hey, there's a lot of subjects to cover.
Put your little red hat on and feel like Superman. What do you want? What do you want to say, Jeff?
A little bit of truth. That would be an interesting thing for our country. Again.
Yeah. You know, from both sides.
I mean, sometimes we do what's morally correct rather than what's financially expeditious. You know, because you don't put a price on morality.
Or when you have a president who doesn't have any morals or scruples, you do what's expedient.
Did you love his answer to Leslie Stahl the other night? I'm the president, and you're not.
You have a president who could give a damn. He didn't live a very pious or righteous life. His whole life, he's done nothing but hang with hookers and looking at young girls in
Mobsters.
pageants and getting peed on or whatever else he does. And now he's got the religious right on his side because they wouldn't look at him, they'd spit at him sooner. But all they're doing is they're getting their conservative Supreme Court to knock down Roe v. Wade, and they'll overlook anything that he stands for. But that's why he does what he does for them, because he doesn't give a damn who's on the Supreme Court. He has a means to an end, and whatever that is, we don't know. But he has no scruples and no morals. There's nothing in his heart except Donald Trump.
Democratic playbook.
Yeah.
Sure. The guy promised that he was going to look out for America's economy.
He promised
first,
something else.
What he's doing.
Promised something else, Phil. He promised that if Elizabeth Warren could come up with a DNA test that showed she had some Indian blood in her, he'd give her $1 million.
That was a phony
Where's
test.
the check?
That was so phony. How
do you know it was phony?
Because she had her guy do it, and then when they tell her that she's mainly. Can you check the box that you're an American Indian based on that DNA test?
No.
Could you?
If I had that test, yeah, I could.
Yeah. So you'd say that if you were, if you had somebody 6 or 10 generations back,
I wouldn't say that I was a large amount of Indian, but I had some Indian blood in me. And he claimed that if she took a DNA test and if it showed that she had any Indian blood in her, that he would give her $1 million. And he should be writing the check right now.
She doesn't have any Indian blood in her.
No,
the test didn't even confirm that there was Indian blood.
Oh yes, yes.
And she said she was a member of 2 tribes. You ever hear of something called stolen valor? This is nothing more than using a program to better herself. She's dishonest. She lied, and call her what she is. She's a con person. Well, yeah, this
may amaze you, Phil, but you're not bothering me because, quite frankly, I'm not a fan of Elizabeth Warren's. All right.
Regardless of whether you're a fan or not,
but I just think that if he's made a boast, that he would come up with $1 million if she could show that she had some Indian blood in her, and she did. He should write a check.
He doesn't have
$1 million to spare.
She didn't show that, and even the Indians are saying that no DNA test.
No, they didn't say that. That wasn't what they said at all.
Them to make the decision.
They said that she was not a member of the community.
No, they did. She's not a member of the Indian community, but that is not what Trump said. He said, if you can show you have any Indian blood in you, I will give you $1 million. She showed she had some Indian blood in her, however minuscule it was. He owes her $1 million. Pony up, pal.
No, because what she said was that she had Indian blood in her, and I don't believe that this DNA test really proved that.
Nobody cares what you think, Phil. Nobody cares what you think.
The New York Times didn't even believe it.
The failing New York Times?
You mean the New York Times that you all hate?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All
of a sudden,
it's good to quote it when it fits your purpose.
Yeah.
Hey, it was them that said it.
Fake news, then, I guess, huh?
Look, I think it was a big mistake on her part to reveal the test or to even come out with it. But she's planning on running.
Since it was so minimal.
She's planning on running for president.
Yeah.
And, the only thing that I wish is that Gavin Newsom were a little further along in his career, that he could run for president in 2020, because I think he could beat the pants out of Trump.
Yeah. Well, what is she going to run in, the Tomahawk Party?
Gavin Newsom is running for governor of California. He's currently the lieutenant governor of New York. And much to the chagrin of a lot of right-wingers, he's the guy that actually started the whole gay marriage movement. He's the guy in San Francisco, was the mayor of San Francisco, who made it a law that gays could marry in San Francisco.
Well,
let me finish. Can I finish, Phil?
I live in San Francisco.
I'm trying to tell people, well, that doesn't mean you have the floor right now.
All right. So
Okay.
mop the floor. Go ahead.
What I was going to say is he's the guy that started the whole impetus across the country for this thing by simply making it legal in San Francisco. And I think that took a lot of courage on his part. He's not gay. He had no skin in the game. And yet he did it. And I think that he's terrific. And I think that he one day is going to run for president and has a good shot at winning because he's a good-looking guy, he's articulate, and he's a political maverick, you know?
He sounds like a socialist to me.
Yeah, he represented, when he was a supervisor as well as the mayor, he represented an area of San Francisco that had a large gay population, and he was doing his job.
But when he was mayor of San Francisco, when he was mayor of San Francisco, he didn't have to do it.
No, but even before he was mayor of San Francisco, he was a supervisor.
No, but and when who cares? I'm not. When he did this, when he was mayor of San Francisco, and he was representing everybody, so he wasn't doing it for his constituency.
Well, the constituency in San Francisco has a rather large gay population, and
but not that large, not as large as America would like to think.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that you say about Gavin Newsom, even though he's got great hair, is that I don't know how well his story plays to the rest of America other than New York and
just
and
wait.
California.
I probably won't be alive when this guy becomes president, but you just watch. You just watch. But I think that the Democrats have to start looking for their nuclear option. They have to start looking for somebody who can run in 2000 who is going to be able to win. And I don't think that Elizabeth Warren is that person.
It's got to be somebody new like a Barack Obama showing up.
It's got to be somebody who comes out of nowhere. Yeah. Who doesn't have
really
baggage. Who doesn't have baggage.
No baggage, yeah. And Gavin Newsom has plenty of baggage. His ex-wife is now dating Donald Trump's son, Don Jr.
So what is that? That just proves he was right. He was right in divorcing her.
No. She divorced him because he cheated on her with his best friend.
With her best friend.
His best friend.
His best friend's
wife.
Yeah. So that's why I'd vote for him. He has he has the kind of moral quality I think that Republicans should admire.
Would embrace.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great guy. Is he Republican?
Yeah, wonderful guy. Hmm? Yeah, well, he there isn't a tax he doesn't like, and I don't know. I got a feeling this guy Cox may give him a run for his money. The Republican.
Nah, he's got it. He's got it.
You think so?
Yeah. He ain't going to have to breathe heavy to win this one.
Well, just like a lot of people said that it didn't come out of the closet when Trump was running, but on election day they voted for him. The guy that they said couldn't win and could never clear a path to 270, all of a sudden the silent majority came out and voted for him. And the same thing might happen with Cox, with the gas tax and the other things that are going on in California. I think there's a lot of disgruntled people that are going to get up and vote.
Well, I think that what's going to happen is I think that by election day, and this is just my thinking on it, this so-called resurgence of Republicans and their how mad they were at the whole Kavanaugh deal will have dissipated because people forget really fast and the
news cycle is so quick these days.
Yeah,
I mean every day there's another headline that takes over.
Already that passion is gone. The only thing they're doing is they're trying to portray the Democrats as a mob who's going to riot if they don't get their way. Okay.
Well, they do.
What? Oh, no, they don't.
Antifa, you got Ted Cruz and his wife couldn't go to dinner. You got this other one that gets run out of the restaurant.
Yeah, oh, yeah, there are riots every day by Democrats. I wish more Democrats would riot. I wish they'd tear down fucking buildings, okay? But they don't do that. It's your guys in Charlottesville, for instance, who are members of the Ku Klux Klan and the American Nazi Party.
One guy was a bad driver. He couldn't back up and, ended up hitting this poor girl.
It's not funny.
No, okay. But, the thing is, a lot of people want to rewrite history. You know, they want to tear down these.
Rewriting history. They want to tear down monuments to the Confederacy, which enforced slavery, which was fighting for slavery. You really think
we should fighting for economic superiority? Slavery had nothing. It was a pawn. You know, the South, the North, only wanted to take slavery away so that they could
rewriting history now.
So they could make the South succumb.
Rob, would you do me a favor and take over here? Thank you.
Why, you got to go to the bathroom?
No, I'm just getting a headache.
All right. Well, let's change the subject. Anything else new? Oh, yeah. There's. I'll announce early, and I'm not running for office, but tomorrow I won't be here. It's Photo Wednesday.
You're gonna be here tomorrow, right? Night, right, Scott? What? Yeah.
Your mic's off.
I have to mute myself so I don't yell at Phil and say and have to go to confession. So I shut myself off.
Yeah. Okay. We don't want him having to go to confession too often because of his feelings about Phil.
I was trying to give you some fire and fury, so tomorrow you'd get a bunch of liberals that would be not have to be challenged.
So
by someone that doesn't believe their stories.
So Phil will now tell us what Kanye West was saying.
I love you, man, as well as he. Now I got to think about that again because I remembered. What he was saying.
Even Trump couldn't figure out what he was saying.
It was prison reform.
No, that was 5 seconds of it.
Well, okay. Well, that's one of
the
things he was
They say that in 10 minutes he changed the subject 40 times.
Yeah, he did sort of ramble.
Yeah. You think?
Maybe it's kind of like this show. What's the name of this show? Ramble. So, did you name it after Conway West?
Conway West?
Kanye. I don't speak Ebonic.
I like that Conway West. He's a good guy.
Conway Twitty?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Kanye. What kind of name is Kanye?
Although he went to Africa and he was in Uganda with the Ugandan president, and he was very rational with the Ugandan president.
Maybe, isn't that Idi Amin?
Maybe what happens when you're in
Trump
the White
brings
House.
that out in people.
I think, lunacy begets lunacy.
Wait a minute. I know that Idi Amin was a Ugandan president.
Yeah, he still is. Phil.
He still is?
Yeah,
he's dead.
Phil.
I thought he died of some sort of malady.
Syphilis.
Syphilis, yeah.
Syphilis done.
He's everybody's dad.
Who?
Idi Amin. Dada. Right?
Yeah. Anyway.
Even kids know his name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
little kids.
Yeah, but anyway, he's in Uganda with Kim, and it was he was very rational, and he was going around giving kids sneakers and stuff like that, and doing a really nice job. I mean, all of a sudden, he's rational there. It was just in the White House, it brought the crazy out in him.
I don't know. Like not everybody
Phil,
comes across the right way.
I don't understand
every situation.
This lens you see the world through right now.
Yeah, it's an interesting prism.
Isn't it an interesting prism? It's like
absolutely. What is it like to have to rationalize everything that you hear? You've got to have a certain. You don't. You rationalize a nut. Kanye West goes into the White House and the whole world, the whole rational world is like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? And the president is entertaining it because there aren't that many people who are famous who would have anything to do with him. So you're rationalizing his behavior, his strange behavior. Instead of saying, he was fucking weird.
Excuse me. Rob, I'll have to take umbrage with you on that. Take umbrage with you on that. You forget Scott Baio. Okay.
Oh, right.
Well, look, there's been a number of people that a lot of us think that aren't, really straight up guys like Kim Jong-un, Putin, and a number of other people that Trump has not called out and just listened to in the effort to bring people together and to not have the kind of
in that same camaraderie
conflicts.
that same camaraderie he offers to Elizabeth Warren and others like her.
Well, that's because she's stealing. She's stealing from the people at Harvard.
Why is it that all the people he calls ugly, stupid, whatever, are either black or women? He never calls anybody stupid who's white.
He doesn't know you.
No, he wouldn't call me stupid because I'm white. He just wouldn't.
Give him a chance.
He goes after blacks. He goes after women. I mean,
what did he call Ted Cruz?
I mean, look, you can
say
a lot of things about what's Stormy Daniels, but the one thing you can't call her is a horse face. I'm sorry, and if it was a horse face, then he liked to put his dick in her muzzle.
Right, I was going to say he fucked a horse face.
Yeah.
No. By
the way, did you see what she wrote back? She wrote back, you can say whatever you want to about me,
Why
blah,
is
blah,
it
blah,
trivial?
blah. Wait a minute. Did you see what she wrote today? She wrote something where she was coming back at what he had said, and at the end, her last word was tiny.
Yeah.
Well, I just think that it takes away. Why is it trivial, Rob? Because doing these things is small, and it's
that's who he is.
Well, I understand, but it takes two to party, and that's the way he does it. I don't like it.
He's the president, not Stormy Daniels, not Rosie O'Donnell, not anybody else he's ever had a feud with. He is the president.
Well, yes, and I would have hoped that things might have changed once he was elected. That his rhetoric would have changed.
A lot of us would have liked to change.
And
embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It's just we're the laughing stock of the world.
Well, we may be the laughing stock of the world, but the results that he's getting is that the rest of the world is starting to do what they're supposed to.
What results?
Great results.
How about NAFTA? And not only just NAFTA. How about NATO? I meant to say, how about NATO?
He replaced NAFTA with something else with a different name.
I meant to say NATO.
That's all he did. And NATO? He says he loves NATO now.
Right, because they're paying their fair share.
No, they haven't started paying their fair share.
And also the UN.
He loves anybody that will compliment him.
Not necessarily.
Yes, but necessarily.
He loves people that do their jobs. When you're a landlord, you want them to pay the rent, and
love when they do their jobs. And if you can get away without paying them, well, he's good at that too.
Yeah, maybe. A lot of those stories have gone by the wayside.
Because
these
they're
contractors they weren't getting paid. His thing went bankrupt. When somebody goes bankrupt, people don't get paid. I've gotten stiffed by people that have gone bankrupt. A project goes under, they go bankrupt, and I don't get paid. And it's happened 4 or 5 times over the last 35 years. It happens. Nothing you can do about it.
Oh.
You can try and disparage them.
Yes, Jeff.
Jeff's got his hand up.
One time, my company was going pretty lousy. I forget what happened. Some real major catastrophe in the world. And all of a sudden, all of my customers who had plenty of money just decided to be scared and not spend any money. Mm-hmm. It's okay. So we rented the facilities. And I talked to the lady who ran the facilities and who owned it. And she said to me, she says, she goes, I know the economy and these changes are killing you. But they're going to go away in about 3 months or 6 months. So don't pay me pay me half for the next 6 months.
Smart. She was smart.
Yeah. I still know the lady. She's still making money from everybody.
You know, if you think about it, if the place remained empty for a year while they try to rent it, and then they had to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars in tenant improvements to get somebody in there, with the chance that that person may go down, and you have a proven track record, I think that was very smart of her.
Yeah, and it ended up that we doubled the facility.
Yeah.
So her rent not only went down, it ultimately doubled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh boy. Well,
people can make smart decisions, but the president doesn't seem to make any good decisions.
In 2008, my landlord from the store calls me up and he says, "I'll take you to lunch," and so I figured he's going to raise my rent, and so we go to lunch, and he says, "You know, business is really hard now, and I don't want to lose you as a tenant." And he lowered my rent by $1,500 a month. You know, I was paying $8,000.
I had a very nice thing happen to me when I was living downtown. All of a sudden the economy went into a terrible dive, if you may remember, because of the housing crisis. And the landlord said, "I'm not raising anybody's rent for the next 2 years." You know, which it was nice. He didn't want to see people suddenly leaving and so on, but also I never saw a landlord do that. The landlord here would never do it to his tenants, you know, but these guys were pretty good about it. Yeah. Okay, I got an item here. This is a Trump-related item. As much as I don't want to, I'd like to get off the topic of Trump, but there's nothing else to talk about. First of all, I should bring this up. As you know, Sears has filed for bankruptcy protection. And they've had a hard time existing in the days of YouTube. And tonight, who was it that said this? I'm trying to remember where I saw it. It was on the news somewhere, in which it was brought up. Oh, yeah, this was on Meet the Press Daily. Chuck Todd. He did a whole thing about Sears going bankrupt. And he brought up the fact that Sears used to have a thing called the Sears catalog. And what was the Sears catalog? It was the Amazon. It was the Amazon of its day.
Right.
Their biggest problem was they never learned how to take that and turn it into internet. The internet, because
they brick and mortared.
They brick and mortared, and they had the Sears catalog. I don't know if you ordered from the Sears catalog and it was delivered to you.
Yes,
it was. Okay. Mm-hmm. So really, they kind of had the model, but they never saw it. They never saw it.
Well, they started to heavily invest in the brick and mortar stores, and it worked at that time. You know, that's the way they went. They were really ahead of their time. But when it came time to finally do the internet, they couldn't figure it out, and they didn't invest in their stores, and they let them go down the tubes. A lot of the stores are just, you know, horrific looking on the inside. They haven't updated anything.
Right.
You know, they're dingy. That's what happens. It's a shame.
Did you hear about Walmart today? Is changing their way of doing business. They're opening less brick and mortar stores, only 11 this coming year, and they're concentrating more on internet business. So Walmart is seeing, I guess, what Sears has gone through.
Walmart's too late to the game already. It really is. It's too late to the party. You know, people like Amazon have gotten such a huge stake in it that there's no way they can compete against Amazon.
Unless they bust Amazon up. You see, I got a feeling that what will eventually happen, what is it? It's not monopolies.
Antitrust.
Antitrust. And Amazon will have too much control of the market, and I believe that they'll probably get busted up.
Maybe not.
Could be.
You know, I mean, they become big.
They did it to everybody else that's big. They did it to Microsoft.
They become a monopoly in a lot of ways because they had a good idea, they did it, and people reacted to it. You know? And how are you going to break up Amazon?
I don't know.
See, I mean,
how did they break up Microsoft?
They didn't break up Microsoft.
Sure they did.
No, they
bigger.
What they did with Microsoft is they chopped it up into two pieces.
Right.
And part of the business, which went one way, and part of the business went another way. And they were just simply split off into two separate companies.
Yeah. Kind of like HP.
Here, you can't do that
wasn't
because
forced.
Amazon really only does one or two things. What are you going to chop up? You can't chop up, say, you're going to chop Amazon in half. How are you going to do that? Why? What's the method for that? You're going to, half of this will sell to certain people, and half of this will sell to others. You can't do it.
You know, because I guess what they are is they're more like a facilitator, and they facilitate sales between their products and third party.
Right, that's the thing. Their products, like the Amazon Basics stuff and all that, there are a lot of manufacturers really pissed off at them for that.
Yeah, I've even bought some Amazon Basics stuff. My Faye's daughter is going to have
I buy it whenever I see it. Why not?
Yeah, Faye's daughter's going to have a kid, so we just bought him a car seat and a carriage. And they've changed since I was a kid. But, for instance, the thing that holds my monitor.
Well, since you were a kid, they're a lot smaller.
No, they were called prams. And they had four wheels and a hood, and they were sort of enamel. They were beautiful.
Perambulators is what they were called. Perambulators. They were called perambulators. Yeah.
Oh, is that
full name for them?
Oh, wow.
Prams was the nickname for them.
Yeah. Okay.
And the only person who calls them prams are the British.
Oh, well, I guess the one that I saw a picture of me in was a British carriage. And,
yeah.
You know,
it was probably
black,
more.
and
in your case, it's probably more like a truck.
Yeah, really. So, where were we? I forgot already. Oh.
I know, it's your show.
On Amazon.
What?
Huh?
It's your show.
We're talking about.
You're talking about your kids or grandkids.
Oh yeah, so I bought an Amazon Basics thing for them. The monitor stand. I had no idea about this Amazon Basics until I started looking for certain products, and I want to get one of those things that go on the desk and then raise up so you can stand up at your desk and still work on your computer. Well, the Amazon Basics has that too. I was looking at the name brand, and I forgot what they call it, but it didn't look very different than except it was $200 more.
The Amazon one was $200 more?
No, it was $200 less than the name brand.
There was a really good article that I read, I think maybe about a week ago, regarding all of this Amazon Basics stuff. And they have an unfair advantage in that they do these little tests of products on their platform.
Oh yeah.
And the way and they tweak them. They have all of those reviews that are on their sites. And so they tweak these things and then they roll them out site-wide. And so they have – the article made it seem like they have an unfair advantage with this Amazon Basics with their own products.
Well, I also have a question about Amazon. You know, they have these things that say Amazon recommended or whatever. I can't remember what the term is. How do these people get that deal from them? Do they have –
It has to do with the reviews.
No, there's something. Wait a minute.
No,
let me look at
this is Amazon themselves saying this is the recommended Amazon product.
But it's based on customer reviews.
No,
it might be based on best deal. They call it.
Let me look here. Wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, here comes Ray Renati out of nowhere. Hello, Ray Renati out of nowhere. Let me see here. I'm trying to remember what they have. The sponsored ads. Okay, they're the ones that are the sponsored products. But I'm trying to see sometimes there's something that'll be called like an Amazon recommends or
choice.
It's usually the Basics product.
Well, no,
not always.
No, not always.
No?
Not always. Let me see here. Extended. Let me see here. I'm just trying to look to see something. Extended. Release melatonin? No, I don't want that. Extended mouse pad. What is an extended mouse pad?
Oh, probably one with you can put your wrist on it.
Oh, let me see here. I'm just trying to see if there's something here. Here we go. Amazon Choice. Yeah, that's the term. highly rated, well-priced products available to ship immediately. And none of them are none of them are, these are like pads, you know, for mouse pads, but none of these are Amazon, what's the product you call
Basic?
it? Basic. None of them are Amazon Basic, but it says highly rated, well-priced products available to ship immediately. Amazon Choice. Well, how do they get that Amazon Choice? Do they have to maybe give them to Amazon cheaper or something like that?
Maybe it's guys that sit around at the Amazon headquarters and say, I choose this one.
I doubt that. There's got to be some financial consideration on why they recommend something like that.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi, Ray.
I just want to say hi.
Yeah. Hi.
Hello, Ray.
Hey, you heard about Dennis Hoff, right?
Yeah. No. What happened?
What?
He
Really?
died.
Oh, really?
Oh, you must have known that.
He busted my chops earlier on.
No, I knew you had to know that.
He did the same thing.
I was quite aware of his passing.
Oh, okay.
Well, Costco does the same thing with
What, dies?
with their products. You know, they have a name brand that they push, Kirkland.
Yeah.
You know, it's very similar to what Amazon's doing with their basics.
It's the ugliest logo on earth, though. That Kirkland logo.
Yeah, but Kirkland has a function. What Kirkland is Kirkland is always side by side with a name brand.
Yeah.
Costco only has one name brand of everything, and then they also have the Kirkland version of it. And many times, for instance, if you buy Kirkland tuna and it's next to StarKist, chances are StarKist makes the Kirkland.
That's right.
And
if you go,
if
you go on the sorry,
but no, what I was going to
if you go on the Kirkland coffee, it's Starbucks in really small print.
Oh, does it say that?
On the back, yeah.
Yeah. So what they do is they say, however, we're going to buy it from you, put our name on it, but we want it to be better than yours. You know, and they will make better stuff for them, but they're being paid to make it. So, you know, they're not losing money by doing that.
I guess they win either way.
Yeah.
Well, I buy
so
wine,
do I. Yeah.
And their wine is always less expensive, but it's also not as good.
They have a big
it's
wine.
like a generic.
There are a lot of things.
Like $2 Chuck.
You don't. They have very good wines available as well. Not just the generic.
Yeah, but
stuff.
they're not under their brand name.
No, but they're supposedly less expensive. If you buy a watch or a diamond, now I've never have from Costco.
I hear I hear the diamonds are very good. I hear
they're supposed to be very good and a lot less expensive. Even though they'll have some that are $60,000 that are there for just the sizzle.
Yeah.
But they have a lot of other things, and it's supposedly
it's just
a great
you don't
deal.
want. It's just you really don't want to give your person you love an engagement ring that says Kirkland on it.
You have to. Yeah. When you give, I've given my wife jewelry from Costco, but I learned the second time that I had to make it look like it was from somewhere else.
Go online though.
Tiffany's is a
go
good,
online to the Costco site. You know what you can buy.
Just about anything.
You know, well, a lot of things. But
coffin.
Yeah. And also urns as well. I just don't want to be buried in a coffin that says Kirkland on it. That's all.
Well, especially when you get two of them, they're taped together.
Two of them, yeah.
Wait a minute. Let me see here. Let me go to the Costco site. I want to see how much what they're doing with the coffins lately.
Did they have sex toys?
Huh?
I doubt it.
Did they have sex toys? Kirkland vibrators?
No, but you can buy the batteries, the Kirkland batteries for the sex toy.
Oh, okay.
Let me see
they last longer.
Coffins. Let me see here. Search for coffins. Will it come up?
Costco coffins?
No, it doesn't come up.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't come up anymore. Coffins. I thought they had them. COFFI.
They used to have them. Yeah, I know that.
Maybe it's
it might be state. What you're on the website.
Yeah.
They may not sell them in all states.
Oh, here we go. How about the President Casket by Prime? It's only $899. And
it's earthworm proof?
Well, no, it says here, to verify availability and to confirm shipping delivery time and date, please contact Prime Caskets. How soon will it be delivered? Orders placed by Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time will arrive Thursday. Well, sorry, we're Jewish. We buried him by then.
Yeah, 2 days. That's it. Hey, I bought a sofa from Costco. It was easy. It was a sofa bed. I went online. I picked it. A week or so later, they delivered it to my door. Took away the boxes. It was easy. And if I'm not happy with the thing, I just tell them and I bring it back. But I'm happy with it.
You would think they would have a thing where they could do overnight shipping on a casket.
Yeah, it's usually not something that you really plan ahead on.
Does your take it away too?
Where do they deliver it to? They deliver it to your funeral home of choice?
Yeah, it says here, to order this product, please enter the following information: shipping address at checkout, first and last name, name of the deceased. Company name of the funeral home, address of the funeral home, or location where the casket will be delivered, and the phone number of the funeral home.
What's the options?
Can you buy more than one? To have it?
What are the options? Can you choose the color of the interior? Battery light?
There are different kinds. However, they don't have something here like they have on Amazon where it says people who bought this also bought these.
What I love is you can specify the quantity, the number of caskets you want. I want a half a dozen caskets.
If you're Jim Jones, that's very important.
I just added a half dozen to my cart.
Let's see.
If you just wanted the casket, can you buy it and have it delivered to your house?
Yeah, and they'll take you away too.
Here's the Richmond solid wood casket.
Yeah.
Oh, that's $1,799. That's some expensive shit.
Solid wood expensive.
Yeah, it does say quantity here, doesn't it?
Yeah. Can you get additional padding?
Yeah, quantity.
Additional padding. Oh, you can get urns too for your ashes. Oh.
Yeah, they do have urns. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Rob, that's what you should use for the cigars. You tap the ash into
there you go.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, finishing off the show tonight, I really want to know what happened to YouTube tonight. This was something massive. It was worldwide that it was down. When it went back up, it was very easy to get onto it. In fact, I maybe could have kept streaming it, all along, but I didn't. But anyway, I mean, it was a massive. I went online. It said, in fact, YouTube on Twitter.
What did the world do without cat videos?
Yeah, right.
Go to Vimeo.
It wasn't just you. YouTube went down worldwide, causing massive confusion. Let's see. It doesn't. It doesn't say why.
No, because they won't release that information.
Well, until they will come out with it eventually.
Eventually, yeah. I mean, but until they get their story right.
I mean,
that's a huge outage.
I think what you need to do. Well, they may not know. I mean, they may suspect foul play.
Foul play, yeah.
Which I suspect. I mean,
I do too.
Here's one from ABC News. Pakistan causes YouTube outage.
No, that was a couple of years ago, Phil.
Yeah, well, there was another one years ago.
Well, it was 4 or 5.
No, Pakistan years ago, a few years ago, wanted to stop some kind of story about Pakistan. They want to do it locally in Pakistan, but unfortunately they shut down all of YouTube. So,
no. It's like 9 people in Pakistan have the internet. They were able to shut down YouTube.
Yeah, right.
Osama bin Laden.
Some of these smaller countries have a lot more people watching YouTube than you would believe. Than you would think.
In their caves.
Yes.
They have much more access to the internet than their infrastructure is based on the internet and cell phones, because they didn't have that infrastructure that we had, which was the copper wires and that type of thing. So, you know, they were able to adapt in areas that, you know, really weren't adaptable in our old way of doing technology.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we were probably a lot longer coming to the table on this than a lot of other countries because we were so wedded to copper cable and so on.
But we didn't have to. We had infrastructure that worked. It just wasn't as efficient.
Well, it was. I'll tell you. I got to tell you, it was not inefficient. You know, it was not inefficient.
It was limited.
No, the phone company for the longest time was efficient. I mean, and even until the closing years. I mean, they started getting into the internet age. They had what is it? DSL, Rob?
Yeah, DSL,
DSL,
ISDN.
I had an ISDN line. I had a DSL line. So they were still with copper. They were still doing it. You know, they just couldn't get the high speeds. And now we're going to 5K on the
I
cell
had
phones.
a partial DSL, not DSL. I had a partial ISDN line at one time, and I could swear to you that I think it was faster than what I have now, which is DSL at the store.
No, ISDN
is great for voice.
But ISDN was.
But it was a partial. I
no,
didn't have the
ISDN only went up to about 80 megabits per second or something like that. But
old technology though, it's nobody uses ISDN anymore.
5G
though. Alex says
they use it at the radio station.
No,
yeah,
I found out now that Walter Sabo, even with his show coming out of Cleveland, is using the internet. There's an internet program you can use to hook up to a radio signal. So
right.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we've run out of time here. What a joyful night it has been. Yeah, see you Thursday, maybe Friday. Why don't you take another night off? You know?
Hey, I'll be happy to.
Why don't you take the next month off, huh? Maybe.
All right.
That'd be good.
See after the midterms?
Yeah, see after the midterms. Right.
See you in 2020.
Yeah, right. Anyway, we'll see you on Thursday, Phil. That's Phil Meyer. That's Jeff Stein. That's Ray Renati, who just joined us at the last moment here, but we love seeing him anyway. Scott Boddicker, you better be here tomorrow night, okay? Otherwise, God will not be good to you.
Might be able to get a word in edgewise then.
Yeah, give a call out to Tom Yamaguchi. You know, write him.
Yeah. Anyway,
let him know.
And thank you, Rob. Why don't all of you give a big wave goodbye to our studio audience, okay? That's our citizens panel for tonight, folks. And let me get rid of them finally. Just dump them unceremoniously by turning off the internet or Skype. Okay, there we go. There, we're out. Okay, we're taken care of. Hey, listen, the intersection is next with Jack Bishop, and then at 1 o'clock this morning Eastern Daylight Time, it's Connections, and then tomorrow night at 8:30 it's our sports show. They only do it once a week, called The Arena with the franchise MC, and at 9:30 we got Damian Chaplin with The Exchange. I'll be here tomorrow night, 10 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, same station in life. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye.